Right. So in our next problem, we have a slightly different formula we're using. I will give you guys, anytime you need to use a formula, you will get the formula you need. But it looks almost the same. We still have our A, which is the ending amount, the P is the starting amount, the R is still going to be your percent as a decimal, and then we have the N and a T. T is the time, but N is going to be something called compounded. Right, how many times something's compounded. And what that means is it's how many times the bank is going to be looking at calculating your interest. So there's something in here talking about compounded. So let's kind of identify everything we need. Jose invests $500 at a bank, offering 10% compounded quarterly. Find the amount invested at the end of 5 years. Okay. Well, what is your starting amount? What's going to be the P? Good. Right? Now the R, remember we have to turn this percent into a decimal. Go 0.1, 0.10 if it helps you to do the 2 spots. Those mean the same thing. What is your T here? How long are we talking about?
5 years.
5 years, good job. Okay, now we have something new in our formula. See how you have an N? Right? N is going to be how many times something is compounded. So in our problems, do you guys kind of see anything that would help you with like how many times something's compounded? Close. We already used that though, right?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, yes. Nice job. So if something's compounded quarterly, what kind of comes to your mind quarterly? All right, 0.25, you're thinking like the value. 4, yes. You want to know how many times. Quarterly is going to be 4 times. So here, the N is going to be 4. Then you guys can see other words besides just quarterly. We could see something called monthly. Good, monthly would be 12. What about if I said semi-annual? Good, 2. Very nice. Good job. That's pretty much the only ones you guys will see. If it said like yearly, what do you think? Close. 1. Yeah, and would 1 matter if you guys, no. For annual, the same thing as a year. Okay, but those kind of come up quite a bit. So the only difference here is when we go to sub in, right, A is going to be our ending amount. We don't know yet. We're going to put our 500 for the P. We have our 1 plus. What are you going to put for your R? Let's see. Oh, 0.10. And the N is going to be 4. Then we have another N up here, so 4. And then T is 5. Now, your calculators or your phones probably are not very good at doing this whole thing at one time because there's so much going on. So we want to kind of simplify what we can. What can we do with 4 times 5? What can we make that?
20.
Yeah, make this 20. Good job. Okay. Now, let's look inside our parentheses to see if maybe we can simplify that a little bit. Right. If we're going to simplify what's in the parentheses, would you do 1 plus 0.10 or 0.10 divided by 4 first? Good, yeah, the division before we add. So let's figure out 0.10 divided by 4. 0.10 divided by 4. And then we'll add 1. So 1.025. Right, and then this is going to be 20. All right, now this would be something I think that your phone can handle or your calculator's like all at one time. Just put your parentheses around here. So 500. Then we have our 1.025 caret 20. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did now? I didn't give me your basic measure.
I don't have a calculator.
Do your phones work to do this?
I can't do that.
I don't have. Can't do exponents?
There's not like a scientific.
There is, but there is
Not there.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know why. If anybody knows how to do it on the phone, maybe I'm missing out.
I can do it online.
You can get an app? Are we going to see some? So 819.31. We won't do your homework today. We'll do it tomorrow in class. trying to solve, well, you need like calculators, I like to make sure you guys actually do it. I feel like you do it in class. So, if I assigned it, probably no one would do it. I know. Alright, so let's try this one. Okay, so Anna has $4,000 to attend college in 5 years. Her parents plan to invest the money in an account with interest rate of 9% compounded monthly for 5 years. Alright, why don't we see if you guys can figure out what the A, P, the R, the N, and the T should be here. Let's see if you guys can figure out each part. That's a good job. Good starting. Oh, fantastic. That's right, yeah. Good job. Right. Who thinks they know the A? 4,000. Good job. That's the starting amount. How about, oh wait, I lied. Sorry. That's the P. We don't know the A yet. The A is what we're going to find. I got two. What about the R? What do you guys have to change 9% into? Good job. 0.09. Love it. Now the N is how many times we're compounded. So compounded how much? Monthly. Good job. So monthly is going to be, let's see, 12. Good job. How long? What's our time? 5 years. So that should be 5. All right. Let's plug all this stuff in. If someone's kind of waiting on a calculator or phone, make sure you have all the stuff in right and do that here. Everybody always forgets that you have 2 spots with the N, so make sure the 12 is going in 2 places. What can we make 12? Let's see. What can we make 12 times 5? 60. Great. Okay. And then let's simplify in here. Kind of check this out. So 0.09 divided by 12 plus 1. 0.09 divided by 12. And we'll do plus 1. So 1.0075. We got 1.0075. And we got this part is 60, and then we have our 4,000.
I know 4,000 times 4,000. Oh yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Like the first two is 4,000.
Wait a second, so what do you do first? Exponent or multiplication? Exponent. So if you're going to do it separately, you have to do this 1.0075 to the 60, then times it by 4,000. Or if you just put it in parentheses like this and do it together, it'll like pick up on the math. 4,000. Then we have our 1.0075 to the 60. Thanks, Teach. So 620. 6272. Now, when you guys deal with money or anything, make sure we're doing 2 decimal spots. Like money stuff. 6262.72. How are you guys feeling about this stuff so far? Not too bad? Great. All right, let's see if you guys can get this one. And notice they see how they give you the formula that we're going to use? So they tell you right in here which one we should be using. Okay, so let's see if you guys can get your, here we have no N, there should be no N part, because it's compounded annually. What was annual? How many times? Once. And remember, if you put a 1 in, it doesn't change it, so that's why there's no N here in your formula part. So we just need to get a P, we need an R, and we need a T. Does anybody think they have the P? 25, great job. Yep, we're starting with $25. Let's see, so then we have our 1 plus. What do we do? For oh, in general, yes. We're hopefully we'll get there. Okay. What do you guys think about the rate? What are we going to use? Good. 0.05. Very nice. Okay. And then Devin, what about the years? What's the T? 15 years. Super. So this is kind of a nice one. You have 25 times, let's see, 1.05 to the 15. All right. Let's put this in. Let's see which one you guys are going to get. All right, what'd you guys get? Got C, you got C. Aaron, what's your answer? C too? All right, good job. C. Super. All right, I got one more for you guys. Right. This one is a teensy bit different. And this is something called compounded continuously. And when you guys see compounded continuously, the formula is slightly different, but everything kind of is represented the same way. When in here, it's not compounded like semi-annually or monthly. It's compounded continuously. We use this, A equals PE to the RT. They'll tell you it in the problem. So they give you guys the formula. And everything is kind of the same. A is still the amount at the end. P is going to be what we start with, like the initial investment. We still have R as the rate, and we're going to change it. T is the time in years. The only thing that's different is this E. And the E, guys, is the ET in the calculator. So, you know, if you don't have a calculator, kind of share with people around you. After you do it, let them do it. So here's your formula. Let's see if we can figure out everything in it. So, let's see. What do you guys think the P is going to be here? 750. Good job. Enter. Okay. Now the E is going to stay E. It's something that's in the calculator. What's your rate? Good job. 0.03. Okay. And then what's our time? 8 years. Great. Now notice, see how aren't both of those little? Okay, they're both an exponent. So when we're going to simplify this, let's make it kind of nice. Can we figure out what 0.03? What is it? 0.24? Yeah. Good. Great. So if anybody doesn't know where their E key is, okay, all we need to type in is 750 E to the 0.24. So we're going to start with 750. Now the E key is, if you guys look on the left side, if you do second and then LN. See how it gives you a little E, a little pop-up? And then we just type 0.24 in. And that should give you 950 break 0.44. Yes, 44. All right, bye everybody. No homework tonight, okay? Great job. You did awesome.